welcome back to another special Arsenio's High Performing Podcast. I am your host as always, and today, again, you guys probably heard a lot of the short stories and whatnot. And again, in the previous podcast on Wednesday, it was literally about this. So by the time you are hearing this, everything will have already blown over. However, I'm literally about 6 hours away from the meeting. Now, just to let you guys know, just to give you a nice little breakdown, okay? I don't really like talking about my personal life and stuff, but I love giving nice little stories behind how I adapt. And this is what I've been doing for the last 10 years, especially going back to the Napoleon Hill book, Law of Success, talking about all those clowns over there. Never mentioned the place that I worked at, but I did talk about some of the people. Never called them names. Oh, well, I probably did back then. But again, a snake, a Dutchman who used to work there, he ended up realizing that I had a podcast and he started sharing the podcast with everyone. And the next, one day in 2016, I just had a huge 100 play day, right? And at that time, it was just unheard of to get 100 plays. Sure enough, probably 2 days later or even a day later, I got called in and said, hey, we heard that you have a podcast. So you're talking about these people, that people. And I got a verbal warning of nothing. And it's so funny because even the practice manager, the Thai lady, she was like, he doesn't even need to get a warning. He didn't say anything bad. So again, given a lot of these stories and whatnot, this is what I do. And I try to be very adaptive in terms of how I can really give a lot back to you. So I had to change the job. You guys already know. Got threatened by my previous job in December. This job was paying me, man, to even say the amount is absolutely, it's criminal. So he threatened me. He's like, oh, if Arsenio keeps canceling classes, I'm not going to renew his work permit. And I'm like, oh, no, you do not threaten me or the livelihood of my family. Now, at the time, I knew that TOEFL was changing and I knew I wasn't going to have that many clients anymore or students anymore. So I said, you know what? I'm getting the hell out of here. And so I started applying for a lot of jobs even 2 months before that. And I was considering one place. And then I said, you know what? Let me go through with this place. Although class is going to end really late, I have to bite the, I have to bite the bullet at some point, right? I'm going to have to face the music at some point. So did the whole interview process, did this, did that. And then again, back in February, there was a meeting where, I was tapping my index finger and I was like, you know what? This doesn't seem right at all. Because I'm like, well, to be honest with you, if it's not set in stone and if there's no communication going from one department to another, in terms of what's happening with my paperwork, then what am I supposed to do? One guy was like, oh, I'm going to transition your visa. 1 month passed. Oh, I can't do it. I'm like, you just wasted literally a month. So then I had to start work like mid-March, right? And so I think that weekend we had a workshop and next, we went out to dinner. And then after that dinner, I was in the car. You guys probably heard this in the Wednesday podcast, or I'm sorry, you're going to hear it in the Wednesday podcast, although I'm speaking like way in the future, right? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I was talking to my wife. I was like, oh, my God, this is the best. Oh, my God, this is the best place I've worked at and this and that and this and that. And to be honest with you, even going all the way through Songkran and even just before the Songkran holidays, which is the Thai New Year, I had an amazing session with one of the guys. And he's like, okay, yeah, you could do this, do that. Because I was getting ready to do an observation. And it's funny because what ultimately happened after that, there was an issue. So it was two things. And I was talking about my wife about this last night. And I just really wanted to connect the dots just so I could get that. And so there was one time, he came in, went over the second observation. Everything was fantastic. And then at the very end, he was like, hey, Arsenio, just, no big deal, no big deal, no big deal. He was very apologetic about it. But the student's father messaged us this. And I'm like, what? So then I knew that student was going to come back for about a month or whatever. And then ultimately what happened was he said some things and I'm like, okay, all right, hold on. If you're going to say dumb shit and you're literally like creating fake AI images of me, no, we're going to have a big fucking issue. So I brought it up in writing. And so that very next day, I forgot what it was. I think it was another, post observation, did amazing, this, that. And it wasn't even about that. No, I'm sorry. It's about some kind of testing thing. But then he went through it so quick and just went straight back to that. He's like, oh, were you able to get that? I was like, look, and then I gave him, like a 2-minute story. I'm like, listen, I'm ready to let this be bygones, let be bygones and stuff. But he's like, oh, because it's in writing, We need that evidence. That was the moment that everything shifted. I think that was probably like the last week of April. And never was he the same. He went from being someone who was really nice to a strict ass corporate boss. Or a boss that just likes to take little swipes and stuff like that, right? And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, I'm not a boss. I'm not this. I'm not that. That's your job to do. Goodbye. So I think that was May, because next thing you know, probably 2 days before my birthday, we got a whole bunch of positive things. I got my, my work permit. And the next thing you know, the scan was absolutely amazing. Baby growing well. Just so many great things. And then later on that night, it said, oh yeah, we got all the evidence. And he agreed. He said that everything was true. And I said, ha! But at that point, the trust was already betrayed. He said, we need that evidence. And I'm like, okay, what evidence? Are you talking about the evidence that he said something about me in class? He never provided evidence, did he? But I provide the evidence, and not one thing, not one thank you, this, that. And to be honest with you, the other person wasn't even around. And I'm like, okay, this is a little bit concerning now, because you said, oh, we're a team. This is the energy. This is that, the rah, 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 rah. And I'm like, oh, when things go a little bit south, things end up going a little bit south. And I'm like, see, I know your true colors now. So then it was just the constant swipes, right? It was no longer, hey, this, that. There was no more haha in the messages. It was just like, hi, thanks. Hi, thanks. Hi, thanks. And it's so funny, because if there was one thing, let's say I forgot my key. A day later, post in a chat group, please don't forget your keys. What was it? Sent an urgent message during class. And it's because, well, obviously they don't speak to me and they just ended up scheduling something with me. A day later, in the presentation slides, no messaging, no line, no emails during that. I'm like, you didn't pull me aside and say that, it's not a big motherfucking deal. You're just trying to make a mockery. These are the receipts that I'm actually keeping. And I'm telling you, I could come into this motherfucker. And again, this is like within less than 5 hours. 6 hours, in less than 6 hours. I could come into this motherfucker like Floyd Money Mayweather and just be very agile. Hit you down below, hit you down below, hit you down below. And then in the later rounds, I start taking over. We could be nice or we could be nasty. Let's get to the thing that just happened just recently. And again, there is another situation that you guys are going to hear probably like mid-July. It doesn't really matter. But it's just me having those boundaries and saying, you don't have access to my life anymore. That's it. I'm not going to help you. You probably want to go somewhere else to get help, because I'm not going to help you. Goodbye. So, but going into that workshop, it's so funny because just miscommunication all up and down. It's like, oh, I won't be there till 3. I'm like, okay, it starts at 3. So I went to go look for, early dinner because I was hungry as hell. I come back, and then one of the guys, and again, he's been very different since then too. I could give a flying fuck. But, I was walking down the hall and he had big eyes and he was pointing towards the workshop and everyone was in there. I was like, I don't know what, but it starts at 3. But they were all in there, including that +1. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go again. Miscommunication. Let me guess. It's going to come up in the chat group tomorrow. Please be on time for workshops. You see what I'm saying? Just baby shit. Just nitpicking shit. Just shit that could actually get your ass shoot out. Or I could just run amok and run all around your ass because my intellect is way, way stronger. So I walk in and I'm just quiet. I'm like, man, we cool. One teacher over here is trying to hurry up and get transactions out of me. The other one is cool. I like him. And then the other guy, I'm just like, okay, whatever. We have small talk and stuff like that. But then I'm just like, okay, all right. So I'm sitting there and I'm just, my face and everything, she's, going over things. And I'm just like, man, whatever. And then they were like, and it's so funny about it. This is why what you have to do is, again, boundaries. Making sure you have the demarcation line in the sand and saying to yourself, you're not crossing this. You're not getting any of my personal time. I do not want to sit across from you guys. Because 3 months ago, you guys had that energy. We had fun. We were laughing. It was so amazing. 3 months later, I know the true colors now. One guy, I try saying hello to him. He just ignores me. Oh. Other guys just looking for transactions. Oh. Now the other guy, I'm just like, oh my God. So it's funny because you're like, okay, normally after workshops, we go for dinner. I'm like, after everything that has happened, do you really expect me to go to dinner with you? No. Fuck no. Uppercase fuck no. You're out of your fucking mind. We're not cool. We're not friends. We're barely even coworkers. You come to me if you need something, and that's it. You get to message me twice a day. On weekend, I check at 8:30. I check at another time, and that's it. Don't try calling me. Don't try doing this. Don't try doing that. And what's incredible about, the entire situation is that, when I didn't, go to that dinner, because I'm like, well, number one, can I go? Yes. Will I go? Abso-fucking 1,000,000,000% no. What are we going to talk about? I could blow up on you guys. I ain't got shit to say to y'all. Then we're not cool. You have my back. You betray my trust. Not only that, now you're taking swipes at me. So what the fuck you got to say? Get the fuck out of here. I am absolutely not going to sit across and especially spend 300, 400, 500 baht on a dinner when I could literally go to the store and get some amazing food to prepare for my week's worth of food. And then come back to my wife and watch Law and Order. Put on a candle. Put some crackling, fireplace stuff on and all that stuff. I'd rather be here with my wife and that baby in her room. I ain't gonna be sitting across from people I don't like and completely betray me and talking shit behind my back. So then, lost a little bit of sleep. It was just dawning on me all morning. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Then next thing you know, that personal development, I was like, okay, Arsenio, come on, get it. And then that's when I started, listening to things in terms of, goodness. And saying, hey, I'm going to protect my peace. I'm not going to allow these people to do this and do that and do this and do that. And so I said, and again, another lingering problem is the fact that probably about 3 months ago, during break time, just before I went home, I bought a bottle of wine. And then they started looking in my bag. And I'm like, is there a problem? A bottle of wine? I mean, if you were to say, Arsenio, well, at school, you can't do that or this or that. This ain't America. I don't know what countries you live in. But I'm literally buying a bottle of wine for dinner tonight so I could beat the crowds after the fucking classes are finished. What's the problem? So when that happened, then the staff members start walking by my classroom a hell of a lot more. They weren't walking. I don't really remember them before, but after one situation and then the other, there was one afternoon, and this is besides that student. That student was like during the weekday. There was one afternoon. One guy walked by 25 times. Another woman walked by 15. Another woman walked by 10 times. That is literally 50 times where my students turn left, then look back at me. Turn left, look back at me. 50 times. How do you think the students feel? How do you think a teacher feels? Especially, I don't know, being a suspect. Is this one of those motherfucking crime series? I have nothing. I have a bag. Do you think I bought another bottle of wine to take home? I can't even bring a bag in anymore without one person just staring at my motherfucking bag and then walking by my classroom over and over and over. I have to shut the shades to the main window now because they're so fucking nosy and they're just suspecting everything. This is everything. We could play hardball. I mean, like I told you guys in the previous podcast, Wednesday. And again, remember, you listened to a little bit of this on Wednesday. I'm recording this today before the meeting, but you're going to be listening to this on Saturday to just let everything blow over because this is just one of those special podcasts and I'm talking about some shit. And I'm just going to write before the meeting and after the meeting because, again, I'm not sure how much of this is going to help you. But with all that being said, looking at how they've been acting, and they don't even care about how the other people feel. They don't do this with any other teacher. They don't. They certainly don't do it with one teacher because he doesn't have windows to his class. Can I get a classless window? I mean, can I get a class windowless? So you guys can leave me the fuck alone? Could you put me in the backside of the goddamn place so I ain't got to deal with you motherfuckers? That would be fantastic. Because to be honest with you, this constant walking, it's very, very annoying and it's distracting. So you guys need to figure your shit out. Now, if you listen to everything I just said, If you were to say, hey, Arsenio, you know what you always taught us? If you're not welcome, if you're not this, you're not that, you just leave. No, hell no. There ain't no, My students love me. One, listen, I go to work. I get there 30 minutes before. I do my job. I go home. Bring the joy to my students every single time. I am not there for anyone else. I'm there for my students. I'll repeat that. I am not there for anyone else. I'm not there to be their friend. You guys have betrayed my trust from the beginning. Those three at the front, no, you're not getting a hello anymore. The other two, no, we're done. Dinner, hell fucking no. This teacher, hell no, you're transactional. You're trying to impede on my privacy. Get the fuck out of my face. This teacher, you got a bad attitude, fuck right off. Don't care. One teacher, really cool for the time being. The other one, could care less. The other one changed. So yesterday, good old Monday, walked in, hot as hell, sweating like crazy. I didn't say anything to anyone. Two people right there, not a damn look in the eye or anything. Wiped my head, went straight to my class, stayed quiet. Did a podcast while I was there. That was it. One person walked by my classroom, didn't even look in. Hey, thank you. Thank you for giving me a little privacy. That's fantastic. Walked by probably about 4 times, didn't look in. One from the outside, that doesn't really count, but the inside. She walked by like 4 times. Didn't look in once. Oh, well, it seems like things have changed. And then I put all my, my poultry and stuff into the refrigerator. I think it was at the end of class when everyone left, I hurry up and ran in there. And then the one that was always nice and has always been nice for the last 3 months, I walk in and just say, hi. He normally always says, hey, AJ, how's everything going? Always. This time he says, hi. I grabbed my chicken. I didn't say anything else. Didn't try striking up a conversation. I just said, all right, I'll be back. And I went home. Walked right out of there. When you see the true colors of people, you know where you can expend your energy. There's probably only one teacher, and he's the one that always comes to my room, knocks on my door, and we talk about a lot of different things. That's only one teacher. The other ones, I don't give a flying fuck about. This person, that person, doing more. If they say, hey, can you record this? I cannot. I'm not available. Because I used to do so much for you, and now after everything that has happened, I got to keep all my energy. All that joy that you saw, everything that I brought to especially that interview, you guys don't get any of that anymore. You don't. Because of after everything that has happened, and then the suspicion, suspecting stupid ass shit, making stupid motherfucking assumptions, making those swipes and those messages. Oh, forgot my key. Bring your key. Make sure you bring your keys. Forgot this. Make sure you bring that. What's next? Make sure you don't put chicken in the freezer. Hey, make sure you throw away things. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. What else is there going to be? Are you going to neglect me from having oxygen? Holy shit. I don't know what else to do. But today is that day. And I feel so good because, again, it's about making sure it's not about circumstances, right? Remember, I've been preaching about that. It's not about circumstances. It's about knowing that I'm going to always protect my joy and that peace within my soul. I do not care about those clowns. I do not give a damn. You're going to come there? Hey, this, hey, that. If you decide to start acting ignorant, I will pull out. I got my guns. Okay, literally speaking. I'm ready to go. I got all the receipts. I'm ready to ask a lot of curious questions that are going to make a couple of people very uncomfortable. And then at the very end, I'm going to say likewise. And that's the end. Because you don't look after your teachers. Customer's always right? Even when he was making fake AI generated videos and photos of me, and his parents could have looked at his phone and said, oh my God, Arsenio's hugging a student. Get the fuck out of here. I bring that up. I'm the bad one for bringing it up. And you say, first argument, oh, well, we've already, sorted that out, but you're the one that brought this up, so I'm going to bring that up. Do you care about teachers? Yes or no? I'm not going to press them like that. I'm not going to say it like that, but I'm just going to ask questions. Put them in uncomfortable positions if you want to fuck with me. If you got a dirty ass face, a mean ass look, if you want to jump on me, I'm going to jump on your ass. Don't act like I'm going to backtrack. I'm going to go Floyd Money Mayweather on your ass. You think I'm going to stay quiet? If you're going to start saying dumb shit, I have a list of things, and I'm going to make you guys as uncomfortable as possible and fuck up your entire evening. Do not fuck with me. Let me do my job. Students are missing me because I'm fucking amazing. There are students in other classes right now saying, we miss you, we miss you, we miss you. Oh my God, oh my God. I posted a couple things on my Instagram. One of my ex-students, she, messaged me. She's like, it's just such a beautiful message. I haven't seen something like that from a student ever in my lifetime. Okay, 13 years in Thailand. Never saw a message like that. And I see, the people who matter most, they always got your back. And you guys better always remember that. Do for those who are accepting of your beautiful energy and who you are, your character, and your entire well-being. For those who make falsehood ass statements or ignorant or this or that, you could tell them to fuck right off. So what's going to happen today? I'm going to walk in. I'm going to say, hey, is there a class Thursday? Yes or no? Okay, thanks. Bye. Whether that's yes or no, doesn't matter. I'm going to sit in my classroom. I'm going to do a lot of deep breath work. And then he's going to say, hey, I'm going to say, hey, how you doing? Good. Okay. Now, we're going to get in the ring. It's a ring. It is a ring. It's a boxing ring. Now, you guys could be referees. You could be good Samaritans. You could be someone who has the back of teachers, or you're going to end up complaining about something that will trigger me, and then it's full fucking Mike Tyson fight. And I got a lot of receipts, and I'm going to have shit ready to go. So you better be ready. You better be ready. So with that being said, by the time you guys listen to this, the next episode in terms of post meeting will be coming out tomorrow. If you guys would like to listen to that. Again, not too inspirational, but at the same time, just working everything I've learned throughout personal development, life coaching, transformation coaching, high performing coaching, everything that I've learned throughout these last, I would just say 6 years is when it really took off in terms of my personal development. It's going to be right here, spotlight tonight in the ring. It's a ring. I'm ready. I'm agile. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to do work. I'm ready to fight like a motherfucker. I don't give a damn. I don't care. And then let's see what happens after that. But at the same time, goodness. Regardless of what happens, I'm going to bring absolute goodness. And I'm even more grateful that, these, oh my God, these, I look at everything as a blessing in disguise. But, one of these students, these students I've been teaching for just such a long time, 2 of them are not renewing, so they're not going to open the class. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Because 2 of them are just, oh my Jesus. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm done with this, man. I am so done. But at the same time, you cannot bring that low energy. You always protect the body temple. Always. You know who are the suspects. You know who the people are. And what you have to do, you just have to be very careful. So with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next podcast. Over and out.